can't hear you if it's not loaded, dum-dum.
Marcus!
That's not helping our viewers. You're killing them.
So yeah, this is our first time streaming our podcast.
I'm scared they can see me. I'm wearing
They can like half see you.
I know, I'm hiding. Oh, they can see me when I do this. I was hiding. I want. But then they can't see me again.
Oh wait, now they can't see you.
Hi. All right.
We're gonna
So
be obsessed at looking at ourselves.
I know it's
the
gonna be
whole
pretty good.
time.
Well, actually, I'm just gonna stare.
Hi, me.
If you want to help, if you want like learn a pro tip taught to me by professional YouTubers, stare. If there's multiple people on camera, you stare at the space in between them, because that way you're not focused on making yourself look better, and but you can still see what's going on.
Oh,
on the
I
camera.
see.
Yeah.
So I'm not staring at myself the whole time and being like, "What's up with my hair?"
Exactly. So you would look either between Violet or
Gotta
between
fix
Violet or
this.
between me being you.
Okay.
So like here. No, look in the camera. Look at the screen. Here or here.
All right, I'm looking at Violet right now.
I'm
Perfect.
gonna be looking at you and Taylor.
There you go. That's fine.
Awesome.
All right,
What
guys.
if I just stare at the weird temperature control on the wall?
That works too.
Welcome to the studio.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
very, very gray studio.
It's colorblind.
Yeah,
I might
it's
have been-
actually.
Shut up. Okay, so
Doesn't know what red looks
despite
like.
despite that very long non sequitur beginning,
We'll actually do our like real podcast intro now.
okay, well it's
They
not
get
recording.
the,
This
the
is just streaming.
streamers. The streamers get some extra.
That's how a lot of streams
Extra
work. Actually,
flavor.
I
that's how a
don't
lot of
think
streams work.
anybody's watching.
It doesn't matter. That's how a lot of streams
Hey,
work, though.
hey,
Vlad
our
and
first
Boris.
stream.
Vlad and Boris are watching definitely. They
They
keep
are
up. They
always
keep up on
watching.
everything.
Yeah.
And did I get oh my god, I can't speak. Did I tell you guys about Boris's girlfriend, Natalia?
No.
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend now.
Ah, good,
Yeah.
good for Boris.
Yeah.
She
Right,
good
are
looking?
things good?
Huh?
They're-
Yeah, things are okay. Things are
'Kay.
okay. They're telling me they've been working things out. It's pretty weird over
How
there.
is Vlad taking it?
I don't know. I actually haven't spoken to him about it. I'm sure he's just kind of like, I'm sad I lost my best friend, and
Yeah.
now he kind of just
Wow.
listens to us alone. Except unless they come
Aw.
together. So
Dang.
I'm pretty sure all three of them are there though. Boris texted me a little while ago and I told him we were gonna be streaming. So
I always imagine that Vlad and Boris are listening on the same device
Yeah.
with a splitter, or they're sharing one half of the earbud,
yeah.
and they always listen together, sitting next to each other.
Just waiting for us to shout them out every other episode or so.
Hey, Vlad and Boris.
We love you, Vlad and Boris.
All right. So, more non sequitur. Besides that, welcome
right.
to Library of Games. Are we gonna start recording first?
No one can see
wait,
your
wait.
gestures.
Okay,
No one
let's.
can see
Okay,
your gestures.
It doesn't matter. All right.
1, 2, 3.
You gotta start the recording button. There's a start recording button. This is just a stream. There is a start recording button. There.
Well, that's if I want to record the video.
Don't you want to?
No.
It's just a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and Twitch
Oh.
saves this.
Oh, they do? Oh, they
Yes.
do in their archives.
Yes.
Arcades.
Archives. I said arcades because I was thinking arcade archives.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Podcast begins.
now, hello everybody and welcome to Library of Games Season 12, Episode 2. How's everyone doing on this fine evening here in sunny Chicago? Because it's actually like 80 degrees.
I know.
It's amazing.
It's
I woke up
weird.
this morning before the sun was up and it was dark and it was cold and I thought it was going to rain and it was going to be a sad day and the sun came out and it was like, no, today's going to be a good day and you're going to record a good podcast.
The sunrise this morning was gorgeous.
It was
beautiful.
amazing. I was on the blue line already by the time the sun was rising.
I mean, you get on the blue line at 6:46.
Yeah, but I was waiting there for a while because it was
Ah.
delayed. And actually, I got on an early train because my bus was fast. Besides that, today we're going to be talking about some local scene Chicago stuff. Last week's episode, we talked about.
Games.
Yes, I think they got that. Talked about what we did over summer gaming-wise. And this happened to be one of those things that we didn't talk about in specific, so we're going to do that today. And what we're talking about is BitBash. Now, Taylor, you want to tell the crowd what BitBash is?
Yes. So BitBash is Chicago's indie gaming fest. This is the second year that it's happened, so it's fairly new to the Chicago gaming scene. They also did an Itty Bitty Bash in February last year, which was a 21 and over event, unfortunately.
Why would it be called Itty Bitty Bash?
Because it was smaller than the regular BitBash.
But I would think it's like kids games and family friendly.
That would be actually really
That
cool
would be
if
smart.
there was a family friendly.
Come on, advertising, get
time.
it right.
Yeah, more BitBash basically.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. But it's a really cool event. A lot of the games that are featured there are things games that aren't always readily available through platforms like Steam or on console. Some of them are. Some of them you can go out and buy today.
Like Nidhogg.
Yeah, like Nidhogg. Played that last year. Very cool.
I love that game.
It's such a good
It's
game.
a lot of
so
fun.
much fun.
But I think what's really cool about BitBash is when you can play games that are really... We're live streaming today, and Isaiah's showing off his shirt. He's wearing his BitBash shirt for today.
I actually didn't know that we were gonna live stream this, and so it's really coincidental. Like
Yeah.
no one, I was just gonna bring up the shirt and be like, oh, I'm wearing a volunteer BitBash shirt that's a bright pink with white letters, and had to describe it to them, even though I still did it. But now I don't have to, even though I still did it.
Now the audio listeners understand.
Exactly.
They understand what Isaiah is doing at this moment. So what's really cool about it is that you can play arcade games. There's a group in Chicago called Indie City Collective that puts together the Indie City Arcade, where they take indie games and they put them in arcade machines so they can take them out to events and play. So they have a lot of those. And then also kind of non-traditional games that you need a kind of different setup to play. So things like Johann Sebastian Joust, I think they've had there for the past couple of years. I know last year there was Relax Harder.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, which was a different kind of game. And then
It had I think we talked about it last year.
yeah, if you go back to the podcast from last year, but in short, it uses basically sensors to
A neurotransmitter headband that goes around your forehead, and that Tom was somehow very good at. He's just so good at shutting his brain off.
The goal
apparently.
is just to relax and see who can relax.
I'm gonna try and get the
best.
game list up so I can talk about the ones that
Yeah.
I played.
So I didn't go, unfortunately. So I'm excited to hear everything. Last week, Violet filled us in on a few games.
Yeah.
But Isaiah actually worked at
That's
BitBash.
why he
Hence
has
the shirt.
Yes. So he's going to fill us in on the games, because he saw more of the games than the rest of the group.
I played them and actually had so when you're a volunteer, you can show up as early as you want to. Even if you're not setting up, you can show up as early as you want during the day. And so I got there about an hour and a half early, and I spent 45 minutes playing games outside of my station. They had you stationed in separate sections. I was what was originally called chill out area, because there were like bean bags and a really soft couch. And they changed that section of area to be called sit bash, because it's an awesome pun. And I spent about 45 minutes just kind of exploring the entire venue, eating snacks out of the volunteer-only section.
Wow, brag about it.
I did. I literally just did. So.
Brag about it.
I
We were all starving. I didn't eat anything all day.
really after you
You're like,
after
"I
you
gotta
left,
volunteer."
Jesse, Robert, and I stayed, and I got a lobster sandwich.
Yeah,
It was
I was
so
looking
good.
at
Wow.
yeah, because they also had food trucks there. And
They always
when
do.
I was leaving, I was looking at all the food trucks, and I'm like, maybe I should get something. And I'm like, I'm not paying $11 for a sandwich.
How
probably
come-
this big?
Whenever we do a podcast about an event we go to, we end up talking about the food. Like C2E2.
Cause
We
food,
talked about
Food
the
is an
food.
important thing in our life, okay?
especially
Okay,
in
yes.
teenagers' life.
Yeah, it's very
Okay,
true.
I-
And then I
Fair
spent
enough.
another 45 minutes getting comfortable and knowing in more depth the games that I had to teach people about, and like talk to them as if I had been working there professionally for weeks. That's what they told us to do, is that get as comfortable with the games as if you have been playing them all your life. And I took that to heart, and I did. So I'm just going to give the little intro they have on their website. BitBash 2015 has more of everything. 50 plus games, more music, more art, and 3 times the space, which they'd open up the back area that we didn't have access to last year.
Really?
you-
It was that small last
Yeah,
year?
yeah, last year it was tiny. They had the sit bash area, but they didn't have that back room where like all those giant projectors were, and where Astro Duel was. They didn't have any of that
When
open.
we were leaving, like that place was packed.
It was really
like,
packed.
The back room, like the first part of it, like even like where like you were sit bash or where the card games were.
That was part
everywhere-
of sit bash. That was the
Yeah.
back end of it.
Everywhere was packed. Like I wanted to stay longer, and I could have stayed longer, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait like half an hour just to play one game, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna waste waste all this time. So I
Yeah.
was like, I might as well leave.
And then it's our mission to put as many diverse and interesting games as in front of as many diverse and interesting people as we can. Uninteresting people are cool too. Nice. So I'm gonna load the games up, and we're gonna take a look, and I will tell you the ones that I actually got to play. So I'm gonna tell you first about the games that I played, and then Violet, you can look through some of the other ones and see what you played played, so we can talk about them.
I mean, we probably played similar games.
I'm gonna talk about the games that I ran. So I ran a game that was called Campfire, and it was a keyboard and mouse game. And the keyboard had keys that controlled a squirrel that was holding a banjo, or a guitar. I think it was a guitar actually. And each key was a different key on the guitar, a different chord. And to strum, you would hold down that key, which was that chord, and press up and down on the arrow keys. And that was the first player's turn, and the or like control system. And the second player was in charge of, I believe, a beaver that was sitting in front of a djembe, like the drum.
Yeah.
And each of the mouse buttons, including the scroll, that when you click it down, made a different type of noise on the drum. So it was interesting. I actually met someone who knew how to play guitar, and so they tried making a song, and they were like, "This is not how I should be holding my fingers to make this music." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a little weird." He's like, "Yeah, I think so." But he still did it. It was really slow when he did it, but I was amazed nonetheless. And then otherwise, people were just kind of having fun mashing the djembe on the mouse. It was nice because even if there was a little kid that was there who didn't understand how to use the guitar, they would still go up to the mouse and just click the buttons and make the drum noises. So that was the first game. The second game, which was a little more complex, for lack of a better word, was how to be a great artist in in 10 seconds. And so this game was it had like a pixelated art system that was in front of you, and they had a keyboard that they had taken out specific keys and then drawn over the other keys.
We have a visitor.
You can't hear. Oh, okay.
Oh, nobody can hear us on the live stream?
Well, that's not good. Let's
no
fix that.
Good at all.
Thanks,
no
Jill.
good.
I wanted to call her Julie or Jules.
Jules.
I wanted to call her Jules, but my brain
All right,
stopped at
Julie,
Jules.
if you can hear us, come knock on the door.
Yeah.
Knock on the door if you can hear us.
When we did our test before.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
Especially in Taylor's ears, which I screamed in a lot.
I can hear myself just fine. I'm gonna do a little test. I apologize for any viewers that hear us twice, because I'm gonna pull up our channel right now.
I mean, this will all get edited out.
Yeah, this will get edited out of the podcast. Again, like the extra flavor you get from.
Extra flavor?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. When you listen to the live stream. Why not, Violet?
Taylor,
What?
let me stress to you that you just said extra flavor.
We have 4 viewers.
Whoa!
Hi. Oh wait, guys, no,
Vlad,
Boris
Boris,
and Natalia.
Natalia,
and then
and
Julie
us.
and Julie.
Dang it.
Audio's working just fine.
Can they hear us through there? Can you hear us through the Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch is working.
It's not live right now, though.
Yes, it is. It's blinking. It says live right there.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here like
Yeah.
this.
Oh well, duh. There's a
delay.
lag. It has
That's
to
a
stream out.
that's a
Well, first of all,
really bad
internet is
delay,
bad
though.
here.
Our
Second of
delay.
all, it has to go out of this booth, then go up to wherever
Yes.
it's streaming, whatever Twitch weird satellite they have, and then go back to Twitch Central where they have it streaming out to every computer that's watching it. So Vlad, Boris, Natalia, who are in Russia, okay? It takes some time. Gosh. Oh. Why didn't she just doesn't appreciate you guys the way I do. Vlad and Boris, and now Natalia. You should
All right, so we do have audio. What if they just have the audio turned down out there?
I wouldn't
And just,
doubt
like,
it.
the volume
Leave it
button's
to
turned
Marcus.
down.
Leave it to Marcus to do that. So
Yes.
the next game, the next
All right,
game.
wait, we're just gonna take a.
We got
We're
a
good?
marker? We got a
Alright.
marker?
Careful, Violet. All right. So the next game that I had, this is a very interesting one that I was in charge of in my section was called How Do You Do It? Oh, memories. So this game, very interestingly titled How Do You Do It? You take control of a young, unknown age, but very young girl whose mother is leaving. We see her drive away in her car, presumably to run errands for a little while. And this unidentified age girl is a little curious for something that she saw in the movie Titanic. So sex.
How?
Yeah.
Oh, I was
So-
gonna say how to paint French girls, but
Yeah, sure. That's a good.
Wait, French girls?
Yeah.
She's not French.
No, the
Or
quote. Paint me
what
like
is
one of your
it?
French girls.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's taking. She's
understand references.
so she's.
I'm sorry, I don't remember Titanic.
So she's taking her dolls, her Barbie and Ken dolls, who, because in real life they don't have genitalia, and in the game don't have genitalia, and are mushing them together as much as they possibly can in different rotations.
So,
And so,
do you control
alright, yeah,
the
so-
dolls?
yeah, so you control her
Her
hands, which
hands.
control the dolls,
Okay.
and so Jay moves the dolls further apart.
You go like this.
L
Violet's making
twists-
some interesting
She twists
hand
them and then
gestures.
she smashes them together. She's just
Jay,
like,
Jay moves the dolls further apart. L moves them closer together. I think it's I rotates them like this for the people who can see. So the right hand is going clockwise in her view, so counterclockwise in your view, and her left hand is going clockwise. And if you press K, it does the opposite of that. And you just have to do it in a certain amount of time. And if the dolls are in contact of each other when your mother returns home, you get caught, which does absolutely nothing to your score or affects the game in any way. But it just happens. She comes in and there's like a fiery red explosion around her her face, and her hair is like flying everywhere, and she's just kind of angry, like, "What are you doing?" And then your score. Your score has to be my absolute favorite part of the game. The game says, the score says, "Congratulations, you maybe did sex X number of times and you didn't get caught," or "Oops, mom saw you," or "Uh-oh, mom saw you." So yeah, it's pretty great. Go ahead.
I think one part that I really liked about it though is that like, well, that I just the detail part of it is that like as you like continue smashing your dolls together, her cheeks get a little red. So like when you get home, I mean when the mom gets home, like her face is so flush and red. She's just so blushy, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just that one little like detail that I appreciated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the redder her cheeks get after like playing it for a while and like seeing other people play it all day, I'm pretty sure that the redder her cheeks get, the more accurate you are and the more points you get. Or at least like in her opinion, like what she thinks is more accurate.
What was the
who was
game
it?
called again?
How do you do it?
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember who, but one of the girls from Albany Park had the highest score I'd seen all day of 291 times.
That's a lot.
Wow.
It is a lot.
That's a lot.
Ha-
Yeah. Don't
Okay.
Don't
I'm
question
not,
it.
No, I'm
Nope.
not.
nope.
I'm
That's
not.
a
Don't.
lot.
Yeah. That's
That's
Violet's
a lot.
only response.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
All right. Well,
That's a lot.
the final game and my personal favorite of the little section that I was in was called Little Party, and it was actually one of the featured games, and it's made by 2 Chicago developers.
Ooh.
So that was very nice and interesting. So Little Party follows a very linear path. I wouldn't call it adventure or an RPG, or I guess I would call it adventure. It's just kind of a narrative kind of story, where you play as the mother of a college girl, and she's having a little party to have her friends over, and they're all like art majors of sorts. So one of them's a painter, another one's a filmmaker. She's a musician, and I think the last friend writes. And so it starts with you in your room. There's a dog there. It's just a nice little, you're in your room. It starts with her looking out the window, and you're actually looking at your character when you start. And you actually, if you don't press anything, you wouldn't know that the game had started. You're just kind of staring at like a woman looking out of a window. And you turn around, and then you gain kind of like a third-person view where you're like looking over her shoulder. So if you like look on screen, she's over here on the screen, and then you are looking up over her shoulder from there.
Okay.
So you just kind of watch over her shoulder, and when you turn, you look as she turns. So everything is flat, but it's 3D. So like your character model is flat because you turn with her. You can't see like you don't ever see her side or her front after that first moment.
Is that kind of disorienting?
No,
when you
it
first
works really well. No, it's
Okay.
really smooth. What was that game? that game we played with Tom and.
Oh, Facade.
Yeah, it works a little bit like that.
It's like that.
It works like that. I'm almost positive it ran on a similar engine of it.
Yeah.
So, you just kind of, I'm not gonna like tell you through the whole story, but you just kind of explore her little party as they explore. Your house is out like in the mountains, in the forest, and by a lake, and it's really pretty scenery to be such like a to be a literal flat game. It looks really nice. And the music, I was told, I actually met the developer's dad who was there.
Nice.
And he was like, "Are you running this area?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "My son made this game." I'm like, "Wow, that's amazing." And he's like, "Yeah, he's here. He was there a little. He was here a little while ago." I'm like, "Oh, I probably saw him. I actually probably met him and told him about his own game, about how much I liked it." And he didn't tell me anything about it. And he's like, "Yeah, I was like, something I really like about the game is the music." He's like, "Yeah, it was made by a childhood friend of his." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." And so nice little background information that you don't really get. I got like a semi nice little interview with the developer, the dad of the developer. Jesus Christ, my voice. And I really enjoyed it. The way you play is you just walk around. The spacebar interacts with things. So like when you talk to someone, and when you talk to someone, the screen goes black, and the only thing on the screen is the text of what's being said with the person's name at the beginning of it. And I absolutely loved the ending. Like I sat there, I stared at the screen, and I felt like crying from how good it was. It was really good. I don't think I saw a single other person make it to the end of the game, and I played through it 3 times. And,
Why did they just give up?
They were like a
They
line
just
would
wanted
form
to
and they
do
would feel awkward and they would just get up and
Oh.
let other people play. And no one wanted to play from where they left off, from where the last person left off. So they would ask me how to reset it, and I would. So
Yeah, that
the
is
good thing was
problem of
there was one person that was like, is there any way for me to like see what happens because I have to go? I'm like, yeah. So you can actually go to the menu. There are checkpoints within the game, or at least like set points that you can jump to. Within the game, and so I just skipped to the last part, which is actually early the next morning after the party, and everyone is still there. It's actually interesting. It took me forever to find them, but it's nice. The game doesn't give you any direction as to what you're supposed to do, and the jumps between time are very sudden. So one moment your daughter's in the living room, and then you go into the kitchen because she asks you to make guacamole for her friends. And when you go into the kitchen, she's already there. As if like she hadn't even moved from the couch, she was just suddenly in the kitchen. And then you press make guacamole, the screen goes black. You're talking to her, and she's like making jokes about it. And then when you come back, you're still in the kitchen, but it's now a later part of the day, and all of them are already in the basement.
That kind of reminds me of 30 Flights of Loving and the kind of time jumps that are in that game.
This one was a little more linear about it, though.
Do you know if that game is kind of commercially easily available?
I don't know. I do know that it was one of the featured games of BitBash. It was like on their front page when they were advertising it, when it was like before it happened. They updated their page already, but it was one of their featured games. So it's possible, but I'm not sure.
All right, we'll check that out and put it in the show notes.
So
what was the name of it again?
Little Party.
Little Party.
All right, so those were all the games that were in my section, and I've done plenty of talking. So Violet, if you'd like to pick up from here and talk about the games you'd like, and I'll jump in with whatever I played along with you, or the same ones as you.
Yeah. Well, I described this last week. That was the first game that when you got off your shift, that we took you to. I forget what it was called. It wasn't in that list.
What did it look like?
It was the screen that was on the table, so it wasn't up
Astro
on
Duel.
That one was really
It
fun.
is on here, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, you're
I
just
didn't
blind.
see it.
Yeah, you're just blind.
So, yeah, that, I mean, should I describe it again since I described it last week?
Go ahead, for the viewers that missed it.
It's like every man for himself, 4-player game that each person gets a controller, and the controls are one of the challenges in itself, because one joystick, you only use one joystick.
One.
One joystick just rotates
Yeah,
your
left and
ship.
right on the.
Yeah.
It uses an Xbox controller. I don't know if you brought that
Yeah.
up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it
The left
rotates
joystick.
it. Yeah, left and right, and I think it was, I don't know the Xbox remote.
A projects you moves you
Yeah.
forward.
So you could hold it down, and then you went. But then if you wanted to turn, you had to it was really
There was no
wonky.
gravity, so
Yeah, it
you
was like,
literally slid.
Yeah,
So
it
if
was
you
really
if you
slippery.
wanted to turn, you imagine a race car that drifts, or like a street car that's
Mhm.
drifting when you turn. You turned like that because your
Yeah.
momentum was carried as you were turning.
Mhm.
You did have a boost that was
Yeah.
X, I believe.
Mhm.
So when you used that boost, it helped you cut your momentum if you needed to make a sharp turn.
Mhm.
And B, I believe, shot your
Yeah.
your
You
bullets.
have 3 bullets, and they recharge over time.
You
but-
have 3 bullets when you start. No,
Yeah.
2. You have 2 when you start.
No, you have 3.
You have 2.
No.
You have 2. You know why? Because if you miss one, you can't kill them. I remember that. It's like if you missed the first one and you shot the second. Oh wait, maybe it was
No,
3.
I remember
I think
3
it was
because
3.
I remember everybody initially just
Shot
shoots off
3,
their 3,
yeah.
and then
After that, it recharged. No one ever
Yeah.
let it recharge back to 3. I think
Yeah.
sometimes people would let it recharge to 2 if they were like trying to run away from someone.
right.
But it takes a decent amount of time to
Mhm.
charge it back up. There's
Mhm.
a good cooldown, so it's very
Yeah.
strategic about when you shoot it.
Yeah. And then definitely lining up with these really wonky physics kind of thing. Well, zero gravity.
Yeah.
And it's like getting started takes some time, and then once you get going, and then stopping is it's all really slippery and weird. But then so then once you shot another player, instead of oh yeah, it's game over for you, wait for the next round, the pilot of that ship would eject out of the ship. It's all 2D, so
Your pilot just appeared after your
Yeah.
ship got shot.
yeah. So he's just this little tiny little guy running around. Oh yeah. Running around this little thing.
Isaiah has a visual.
There's glare, but
Hi.
Hi.
Look at
Hi
Violet.
again.
Violet twice.
Showing the webcam.
Yeah. So your pilot would get shot up, and then
You're kind of helpless.
Yeah, you're left defenseless. You're much slower than the ships, but you're much tinier.
But because you're slower, you're easier to control your direction, like the way you're going.
Yeah, but you can't shoot at all or anything. But eventually, if you survive, you can regen your ship,
Your
and then
ship
you're
comes
back.
back.
You're back into the game. But a ship can, instead of when you have 2 ships and they collide together, neither of them die. But if you run to your ship into a pilot, that pilot's dead, and then it's game over for you. So these rounds, if you know how to kind of operate the game really well, these rounds can go really fast because you can sit there, kill a guy, and then boost and run into him, or
Shoot twice. Shooting twice was pretty good. If they were
Yeah.
camping around a corner, if you could get your momentum just right, this is what I had to do a couple of times. I would boost and then turn immediately and shoot twice. And then I would drift past them so they wouldn't have time to shoot me, but I would get those 2 shots off and immediately get them and then their pilot. So it was pretty nice.
Yeah. So crap, you made me lose my train of thought.
If you ran into the pilot, you kill them, but
Yeah.
that was it. You were at the end of your sentence.
I guess so.
One thing that I will note is the scoring system. So a round is over when
it's so cool.
yeah, a round is over when only one player is left alive in their ship, obviously. And your ships are all at a starting point, and the number of kills you get moves your ship forward a number of spaces. If you kill yourself, which is possible because some of the stages wrap around, you move backwards, or if the stage kills you, you move backwards one space. There's a turret on one of the stages.
There's
that
lasers on one.
yeah, the laser is an insta kill, and the turret
Shoots
shoots your ship and then it can shoot you again if you are dumb enough to fall into it again. The turret can be destroyed, so it was generally a tactic to get rid of the turret as soon as the game started and then play it through, which was nice that people were like no, just it's a stage, leave it alone. But I mean, which is a viable, it's a reasonable argument, but it was just kind of we want to fight each other, not fight the stage. The lasers, they were okay because they were really obvious when they were going to come on, because it was one is continuously on and then the other one's continuously on, and then they're both off for a certain amount of time and then the other one comes on again.
Yeah, and then they give you like ample warning. I believe like they flash before and then they go.
One of my favorite like tiny details or aspects of the game was that if you were one space before the finish line and the last round you got 3 spaces, you go to the finish line and then you break through the barrier of the scoring wall and go 2 spaces outside of it, which is actually the furthest you can go. But it was really nice. It was just like, no, I didn't just get 1 point. I got those extra 2 kills, so I'm gonna go past the finish line, those extra 2 slots. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah.
I actually felt I feel like the controls were slippery, but I felt the controls on the controller were really intuitive. Like they felt natural to play. There also were power-ups, which I don't think you mentioned.
No, because
So one of the power-ups was a shield that reflected your bullets back, but you could shield poke if like you get what that means. Like if the other person's ship was through the shield, they could just shoot like because the bullet came out of the front of their ship. So if it was past your shield, they could still shoot you. But otherwise, they could kill themselves like that by shooting at your barrier and it's reflected. It's only like in front of you, only not all the way around. It's just kind of like a little shield like this. It kind of reminds me of no, Pong is flat. It's a rounded barrier. It kind of reminds me of what's that game? Not Brick Breaker, but the other one that's like it that was on the computer.
Brick Breaker's flat.
I know. I said not Brick Breaker. The other one that's like it, where you have a curved one, so it sends it at weird angles.
Oh.
I think.
I know what you're talking about. I
used to have it on my computer.
The name of it.
I used to have it on my computer.
Yeah. It was one of like the generic games
Yeah.
that came with. Yeah.
Although the
PCs.
graphics were nice. It was weird.
Yeah.
It looked. It was very detailed in the.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, off topic. So I think, the power-ups. So we had the barrier. Then you had these little lightsaber things that were on either side. And when you ran into someone, you destroyed their ship. But after you hit someone with one of them disappeared. So there was only one on one side. But if you hit them with the other one, then there was only on the other side. And after you used both, they were just kind of gone. There was a bomb that when it hits a surface or a contact explodes and has a very wide range.
Oh yeah. There was a mine.
And there was a mine that stayed in place. And the last one was a blast that shot out in 16 directions. And I think that's about it for Astro Duel.
Yeah.
I played a lot of fighting games.
Oh well,
I want to talk about those.
Alright.
So I played like a lot. So the one that struck me the most, being the Smash Bros. Fanatic I am, was a game called Kerfuffle. Give me a quick second. I have to pause because family stuff. Awkward pause.
Awkward pause for those on the live stream.
420.
It's 4:19.
Yeah, 4:19 according to my watch.
Yo, my watch
Get
is
messed
like
up.
30 seconds fast, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. Still not 4:19 on my watch.
Now it's 4:20. All right. So Kerfuffle. Okay, so Kerfuffle was a very nice game, although it did have a couple of bugs that I will talk about. So Kerfuffle was a 4-player fighting game that only had 4 characters, as it's still in its early stages, and there were 4 characters. I think I already said that, and one was a sushi chef, and everyone has one normal attack, one kind of aerial attack, and 2 specials that also transform a little bit differently, whether they're on the ground or in the air, depending on the character you play. I only know 3 of the characters well, and the last one no one ever played because he was really bad, like flawed and like not thought out about how. Okay, so he had his strengths and weaknesses, but his weaknesses were just much more obvious than the other ones. So I'm gonna go in order in what I think is the best character to the worst. So my opinion, the best character was this weird tiger/fox animal. And I found that really funny that the fox was the best character because Smash Bros. Melee, as he was the best character. He was the fastest character, and he had the fastest moves. The thing about the game is, I'll explain to you the way that the guy at the station explained it. So, control stick to move, A to use your regular attack, B to jump. Each of the triggers does one of your special attacks. The bumpers dash you to the left or right, which is your sort of dodge, but you aren't really invincible during it. And X was your attack, A was jump, and then B was your shield. And I'll talk more about the shield after because it was a very nice mechanic they had with that. So that was that. 1 hit kills. So you get hit once, you are dead. You respawn in about 5 seconds. It felt rather long, but it always feels longer when you're playing, so that's why I almost said 10, but it definitely wasn't 10. It was probably around 5 or maybe 3 to 5 seconds. And It's really neat. So the thing that I thought was annoying, but I mean, what are you gonna do about it? When you die, your character bounces around, and you don't get taken off the screen until your character stops moving. So it can't be attacked again. It's just like it'll bounce around the stage, and if it falls, it regains its momentum, and then if it falls again, it regains its momentum, and then only when it has enough, it's like loses that momentum, will it stop, and then your body's lifted off screen, and then your respawn time starts. So if you were at the top and you bounced down, and then you slid off that platform, and then you landed on another platform, and then you slid off that one, and then bounced around on the bottom, it took a while for
Yeah.
you to respawn. That was the only one of my few complaints, besides the fact that it crashed if you touched the monkey that was at the bottom of the stage. So one hit kills. Yeah. So the Fox character, he had a little like slash, and then his first special was like an uppercut slash, and his second special was like a slide, like a little slide that threw him forward. His regular attack was the fastest attack in the game, so you could just throw it out, turn around if someone's behind you, throw that out, and you had like no lag. He moved the fastest, like I already said, so he was able to get it on the stage. He was most definitely probably the best character just in terms of what you can do with how fast he moves, especially in a game where one hit kills. The second best, in my opinion, was the Sushi Chef, and he was best because he had like a mid range. So like he wasn't a up close like fighter like the Fox was, but he wasn't a projectile character. He had like so if you were facing to the right or left, I don't think it was the direction. I think it was just kind of random, or like it alternated. He would either his normal attack either uses a squid leg or a sushi knife, which is really neat in terms of like the detail. And his first special was a little. If you were in the air, the tiger's uppercut could be used twice. Once if you were on the ground, and once again if you were in the air. And if it connected, I think you can do it again if someone was behind you, with little lag on it. And his slide became a dive in the air. The Sushi Chef had his first special when he was on the ground did like a slash on both sides at an angle. If for those Smash Wii U players, look like Greninja's down smash, where he like uses his it's like a little, it's like a weird, I don't know if you can see it, like goes like this and hits both sides of him. If you were in the air, it was like a little spin attack where the blades spun around him like he was like spinning with them. And his other attack threw a sea urchin above him, so it fell back down to the height you were at. But it had a set distance that it would go. So it was really nice as a way to cover your options, because you could throw that up and not be worried about the people who are above you on the platform above you, and then like cover your sides with the other special. So he was really close. He was slower, but he had a little bit more options. The third best character, or in my opinion, of course, was this little cannoneer, and he had a spike that shot out of his top or bottom, depending on whether you were in the air or on the ground. He shot a cannon that could be charged, and I don't remember his other special. And the last character, who I don't remember well because I didn't see him very often, was this weird platypus / duck creature that was inside a robot suit. He looked really cool aesthetically, but he was the slowest character. He didn't jump he didn't jump very quickly or like high. He just wasn't very good in terms of mobility. He did have like a little laser that was faster than the other projectiles, so you could use it a little bit better, especially because one hit kills. But it's kind of difficult when the other character's like jumping around and moving. The other thing I want to talk about is the stage. I had two platforms right here and another platform directly underneath those of the same size and length. And the main platform was like a tiger face, so it had the nose that you were standing on, and then the bottom mouth. The top mouth had teeth that were a stage hazard and killed if you touched them. And underneath all those platforms were monkeys that were asleep. When your dead body falls down there, the monkeys don't move or interact. But if you fall down there and you're alive, there's a second where they wake up, and then they start chasing you. And they are faster than you, and they will catch you if you don't jump out of there in time. Basically, if you weren't the Sushi Chef or the fox, you were dead. And you couldn't attack them, and you really you could get killed by them. They did kill you if they caught you, But if you attack them, the game crashes. So yeah, the only other glitch that happened, I was playing and then I never respawned, which I'm assuming I ended up outside of the stage. I wasn't paying attention, but I just kind of dropped my control. I'm like, okay, I'll just wait for me to come back. And I guess I put it on my leg to the point where I was just walking left, holding left, and then the game crashed because it said the left boundary was broken. Like it couldn't hold the character out of there. So it was like I don't understand what to do, and then the game just crashed. There was only one stage because it's still in the early stages, but other than that, it was pretty nice. Oh, the
Nice.
shield! I wanted to talk about the shield.
Yeah.
The shield system is very rewarding. It's okay. You have one shield when you respawn. When you respawn, you automatically have a shield. It's your little invincibility moment, but it goes away rather quickly, and you can be killed right after it goes away. Now, the way the shield works, if you hit someone's shield, you get put into a stun and knocked back for about a second, in which you can still be hit. If you put up your shield and no one hits it, you don't get your shield back. You cannot use it ever again for the duration of the life that you are there. If you use your shield successfully, you put up your shield, which lasts about 2 seconds, and they hit you, then you get another shield after that one goes down. You get to use it again. So it's very rewarding for you to use it strategically.
Yeah, that way people just start putting up shield all the time
Exactly.
for no reason.
Because there was no shield decrease, didn't decrease.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, and my favorite downfall of the sushi chef, as people thought he was the best, people would just jump above his sea urchin shield. He would get knocked back into the monkeys from wherever he was camping, and then he would just be dead. That was the downfall of the sushi chef and how the fox became the best character.
How many people?
4 players. So typically what happened, he's like, you can play whatever character you want, but what happened was whoever picked their character first was that character, and then everyone else picked someone else.
Okay.
With each group that I saw come by and play it. I spoke a lot about that game, so
You
let's
did.
move on. It's a very interesting game.
It sounds fun.
The next game that I liked, like I said, I play a lot of fighting games, was called Yojin Brawl, I think.
Also, fighting games work well in kind of
Yeah,
fest
it does.
venues like that because a lot of people can play.
It was, let's see, what are the other fighting games I played? Oh, my throat hurts. I've been talking too much. Violet, do you want to talk about another game you played?
Please.
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
Remembering how to talk.
Oh, I know how to talk.
I just know
know how to
better.
talk.
I just know better.
So at the very forefront of the game, forefront of the festival, they had these really cool couches there that looked like old cars, like old backs of cars and stuff.
Oh, like car seats?
Yeah.
Kinda? Okay.
Kind of, sort of. They were cool. And they had TV set up there. And me and Eric, another teen librarian here,
Staff member.
Staff
person. He was the lead chaperone who came with us. Only chaperone who came with us. Yeah, we played this game called Pshing, which was
What is
it
it
was
called?
called Pshing.
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 Yeah,
Pshing.
pshing.
Pshing. Because that's what the sound is when two swords hit each other. So, yeah, it was like the background was just like a solid yellow color. Yeah, just show the live stream.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then
I
it was
see.
on this
Yellow
wave.
and a line.
It was on this wave, and then there was 2 different dots, and each of those had like a blade connected to it. So one joystick, I think that was a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yeah.
The buttons didn't do anything. It was just the 2 joysticks, and one joystick, the left one, I had to check my hands. The left one moved you closer to whatever side you were on. So if you were on the right side, then you wanted to go left, and if you're on the left side, you wanted to go right. And then the other joystick controls your little sword that you have, and your little, blade that you have. And you pretty much clash swords with the other players, the 2 hit their little dot on the wiggly line, and you every time you clash swords or hit that other person, they go to closer to their other side, and you want to push them back to where they first started. So
Did it make the pashing sound?
yes,
Every time.
It was a pushing, 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 pushing. It was like you would hit it certain ways, like you'd got like, because the more you wind up, it's like you can come from like a little like inch away, or you can come from like halfway across the screen. If you come halfway across the screen, you have a lot more power, and that's how you push them back. But crap. Oh, so you're on
We esports.
Huh?
We esports in here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we were if you're it wasn't like a straight line, so it wasn't like you were constantly like moving at the same angle to like hit this other person. Like since you were on this like
The curvy
line, that like you always had to change how you were playing because you were constantly pushing them back and constantly moving.
I don't think I ever lost a game when I was playing against random people. I don't think I lost a single game.
Aw.
But since this thing can go back and forth, like all the time, like the whole time, that like one game, it was like best out of 3. Me and Eric sat down to play one game, like the first one wins, because it just took so long to like win one of those games. And like, yeah, but like the people in front of us, they played best of 3, and it took forever for them to like well, it's just like, just lose already, just lose, just go to the other side, because like, yeah, it was getting late then, but like it was really fun. It was definitely, it was interesting to see like how everything was working and all.
It was really good.
Really liked the graphics on it,
Yeah,
because it was
looked
all
so good.
it was just yellow, and then there was a black line.
It's a color I can see.
Yeah, and then it was, just little black circles, and then like whenever you clash swords, it was just like anime style kind of like action lines on the thing, which I thought was really
It was like a
cool.
minimalist
Yeah.
kind of style.
Really, yeah, it was
Okay.
really cool.
It's really original. Something that is like
Yeah.
you wouldn't see that
Yeah.
anywhere else,
Yeah.
which you get a lot at BitBash.
Mhm.
This is a game that they were setting up as I was leaving at 8:00. So I don't know if any of you guys saw it. It was called Chambara. Did you? Yeah, they were setting it up as I was leaving, and it was 8:00 at that point. So
I
I
left
was
at
like, ooh, a new fighting game. Let's do it. And this game was also very original. So there were 2 teams of 2, so 4 players. And your character was either completely white or completely black, and you're this kind of like ninja
That's
samurai character.
racist.
Shut it. So we still esports. So the stages were also like there was no contrast, no shades. It was all either like your background was completely white or completely black. So if you stood against the background, you blended into it. You couldn't see the other person's character at all. If you stood against the wall like this, and you were the same color as that wall, your character could not be seen as they were walking past, no matter what angle you looked at them, unless you were standing directly next to them and were like over here was a black wall. So you had a sword that you ran around with, and you could run. Oh, my favorite thing was it's all on the same screen, but you could close your eyes because they considered looking at the other person's screen a legit tactic to see where on the map they were. So you could close your eyes when you were hiding and maybe like regenning your paint, because I'll get to that in a second. So that they couldn't see where you were. And I thought that was very smart. It was like a nice mechanic that other games don't think about, but it actually considered looking at the other person's screens to find out where they are, because someone could just sit and like camp and then rush you when you went past them and do that the whole game. But if you see if you can see their screen, they can't do that because you'll know where they are. So it added a nice little, and your screen turned the color of your character. So if you were a white character, your screen went white, and you couldn't see the stage, and same thing, vice versa. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you could like sit there, close, and watch them, wait for them to come past and strike. It was really neat. You could like do different things with that. The other thing was you had a boost/jump thing, and when you did that, it like used your paint of your character and kind of like left a trail
Like
almost.
Splatoon.
Not really. It wasn't like a paint splatter. It was just kind of like a straight line that left where you boosted from. So it kind of gave them a trail. You moved faster, but it let them know where you were. Yeah, there was a score system for the number of kills that you got, and you respawned off the top. It was another very original like kind of fighting game, which, like I said, I played a lot of. The other fighting game that I played was called Yojin Brawl, which reminded me to a certain extent of Nidhogg. You were a character with a sword, and you had very basic attacks where you kind of went forward and pushed the character with you. You had one uppercut like slash, and you moved upward with it, and that was used as your jump because you couldn't double jump. So you could jump once, but that was about it, and you couldn't actually reach the platform using just your jump. And then you had like a downward one where you like struck from above and then jumped again and struck from above. And so it was very okay. So your life system was a system of dots above your head, and you started with 7, then you have 5, then you have 3. And you can use one of those dots temporarily to create like a blinding effect on your opponent, where it knocks them backward and kind of like a zoning tool. But it temporarily used that health. So that was that little bar. So they were all your color because there were 4 colors, 4 people, 4 characters. And that was the color you splashed out at them. And it went gray for a moment. And if you're attacked, then it just uses the next one in your line, and your gray one disappears. So you lose 2 instead of 1. But if it's that color, when you get hit, you just lose 1 dot. There was kind of a strategy because when there was a lot of time when or not a lot of time, but like there was no knockdown where you were safe at any moment. So you could attack when they were on the ground. You couldn't hit them, but they got up pretty quickly. So you could use the down striking attack over and over, but you could kind of like dash out of it if you had your timing good enough. But it was really difficult to do. So you could just kind of like do this, and then if they tried moving this way, you turn around and do it again, and then again, just continuously do that attack to them. Or if they were leaning in towards your attack, you could continuously use the uppercut. There was a blast zone on either side that was just a giant wall that was warning stripes of yellow and black, and it was like if you go in here, you're going to die. You could tell. There's no straightforward like instructions with it, but you could tell. So that was really nice. It was really fun to play. That's a game that I look forward to doing a let's play of if we get a chance to. I think that's all the fighting games that I played. Kerfuffle, Yojin Brawl, Pashing, I guess kind of counts like one.
Yeah.
A little different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what else. I think that was it as far as that. Yojin Brawl, Omnibus. Oh, Down Well was a kind of it was a like 18-bit game where the screen was a computer screen turned sideways, and you moved down the screen, and you continuously went down the well. And you got upgrades to your gun as you went along, and you shot downward at creatures and collected gems, and you had a little health system, and you could get upgrades the further you went, and you had to destroy the blocks before you could go down past them. It was really, really nice and interesting.
cool.
It looked really cool.
Different direction than a side scroller.
Yeah, literally. Were you making a pun there purposefully? Literal different direction?
Yes, it is a literal different direction.
And it's also a different direction from most platformers.
Yeah,
that
go right, left.
My favorite thing.
Sometimes up, down,
favorite
but
thing
mostly right, left.
was that the way your weapon worked was that what happened?
We're gonna take a quick break.
Oh, low battery.
Because of low battery. So people on the stream get to see us go get my charger, which is over there. See, Isaiah got the charger. Because I didn't plug this in. Billy's laptop in.
I got you.
What happened to your laptop?
This is my laptop.
No, the Razer.
Oh, the Razer is not being used right now.
That's that.
There you go.
Violet has climbed
Stay
under
on the floor.
table
Stay there.
to plug
You deserve to stay there.
the charger in.
Thanks.
You don't deserve to stay under the table, Violet.
We're recording.
This is a really long podcast.
This is a long podcast.
There's a lot to cover. We can do a lot. What are we at?
This is the most exciting part of the
This
stream.
is like an hour.
What are we at?
Okay. We're about at an hour.
All right.
So we're gonna
We're gonna wrap it up soon. I
up.
want to see if there's any other games that I
Okay.
really liked.
So
I played Aerobat.
Aerobat was
Aerobat was
cool. You can talk about
was
that.
so pretty. It was
really
so
pretty.
gorgeous.
Explain it.
A lot of other games there was like, it was a lot of 8-bit, 64-bit, all that other fun stuff. But that one was like high definition.
I have one that I
4K
have to talk about.
beautiful.
Ooh.
It was like,
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was it a PC or console?
Yeah, PC.
Ooh.
yeah, they had like a whole like Razer system set up. It was like,
Ooh.
They also had some Oculus Rift games there.
yeah.
One of them was a little like virtual museum that you just put the Oculus Rift on and walked around inside the museum. That was fun to play. So this had to have been the game that I probably played the most besides Kerfuffle, and it was called Elbow Room. And this game could fit. You want to know how many people they can have? 100.
Wait, like
100
all
players
playing at the
same
same
time. Are you ready to understand
It's
how?
called crashing.
No. So you can well, not 100. You could it could theoretically have 100 because that's the max capabilities, but you can only have as many keys as there are on a keyboard. So let me explain. So there's a you own a key. So to enter the game, you tap a character twice. A character on the key on the keyboard twice, and then you're in the game. And when the game starts, you have your own section that has your letter on it, and there's a little white bar that spins around, and when it reaches your section, you have to press your key. So you can have a lot of people. It's called Elbow Room because
It's like,
you
how
have
do you all
everyone
fit
has
on the
there were
keyboard?
2 keyboards that they had taken off the keys of the opposite. So like if Z was on one keyboard, it
For-
wasn't on the other one.
Oh.
So that way you could create more space.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. Because
Yeah.
if you were all, as we were demonstrating on the live stream, all
Yeah.
trying to use the same
Then it'd be
tiny
a little difficult.
keyboard,
So
you couldn't do it.
you really couldn't. So that's why it was called Elbow Room, because at a certain point we had like every key on the keyboard playing at once. So the entire alphabet plus different characters that are on it and numbers. So we had a lot. And I was like under the table watching the screen with my arm reaching above the table, holding my button ready to play. And when the bar came around, you press it, and then you're successful. And if you're unsuccessful, your space, your character moves outward a little bit, and you only have 3 chances. So if it comes around again and you miss it, that's 2. You miss it again, 3, you're out. The thing that was really nice was that it was a little bit of mind games to it, because when the bar came around, if it was within your zone, if you pressed twice, it changed direction. If you pressed it 3 times, it would
Ooh.
change and then change back. But you could only do it while it was still inside your space.
So what happens if you mistime it and you
hurt
do
yourself.
too many?
If you press your key at the wrong time, you do damage yourself. So if it's like on the other side and you press your key on accident, you're still gonna take
Or
damage.
if you're trying to do like 3 and it's already
Yeah.
out of your
The thing that's
space.
nice is that the size of the circle stays the same no matter how many people there are. So you have smaller slices the more people. And as it gets to 2 people, they have half a circle each, and it's going back and forth. And then at a certain point, your slices will slowly get smaller and smaller, and there's just like empty spaces in between you where you have to wait for it to come to you. And so it gets really intense, and the bar just continues. And throughout the game, the longer it takes, the bar just continuously gets faster and faster and faster. It does slow down every time someone misses, and when it's turned around, it slows down a little bit.
I imagine you were good at this based on how much you played Super Hexagon.
Yeah, I was pretty good at it. It was really fun. I won a lot of games, and at a certain point, I was doing 2 keys at once. And so, like, when I lost one, I would just do the other one. And there was one point where I was just ping-ponging it back between myself because there was only, like, 3 there were only, like, 5 people, and I was like, okay, so I'm just just over and over. And then when it was, I felt a little bit bad, but not too bad, just because of how competitive I am. I didn't feel terrible about it. Where I was just, when it was a duel, I was just holding it within myself by continuously pressing the key and never giving it to them, so they just rage quit. They just gave up and pressed their button 3 times.
You're terrible.
I do what I will to win. I do what I must to win. I'm sorry. I'm too competitive. I just pressed the button for as long. They're like, you're gonna get tired eventually. I'm like, no, I won't. And so I just sat there. And when I did, I was just switch finger and then continue.
Because of you, I play single player games. People like you.
I feel like a lot of the games were multiplayer based there.
Yeah.
There was one game called Sortie that I didn't get to play. It was the only other fighting game there that I didn't play, because it was actually 8 player. They only had 4. They only had 4 controllers set up, but it had 8 player capabilities. It reminded me of Joust last year.
Oh yeah,
Not Joust. The drunk fighting game.
Or no.
The drunk fighting game.
Oh, what was that?
I don't remember what it was called. Where you like grab them and throw them out the ring. But it was like you
Oh.
had a weapon, and whatever weapon you had to use until you died.
Okay.
And you had a certain amount of lives. I think it was 3.
Gang
Those are
beasts.
Gang beasts.
Gang
Beasts. Nice.
Yeah.
Good memory.
That took a while. The gears were turning in my head.
I think that's all the ones that I played.
Yeah.
I will say there was an 18 over section that I got to go into because I was a worker, and there were some very, very scary games. And I'm just gonna tell you the name, just the name of one of them. It was called Genital Jousting.
And that's that. We're gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Isaiah,
All right, we're gonna wrap
take
it
us
up.
out.
All right,
Do
so
the outro.
this has
do our
been
intros.
this has been.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we didn't. But you know what? If you're watching this stream, you're a faithful and loyal fan, and you most likely know our names. So yeah, Vlad and Boris. But just in case you don't, this has been Isaiah Fernandez, gamertag Megamind.
And I'm Taylor Bayless, gamertag Minecrayons.
Violet Urban, Peace of Lion's Claw.
Peace, yes. And this has been Library of Games Season 12. Jeez, 12 seasons. You must
know.
feel so old.
I do.
Episode 2
Can I leave now?
in a second. Episode 2.
We gotta
Almost.
do the rest
Let
of
me
the
finish the outro and then you can leave.
We
You
gotta
can
tell
you can find
people.
us on libraryofgames.org, also on iTunes or SoundCloud, and apparently now on Twitch is the thing. You
Yeah.
can watch our faces. Turn our notifications on, Vlad, Boris, and you will be able to see us when we go live. Yeah. Other than that, just spread the word. Let people know about us. And we are located at 400 South State Street. It's the giant brick building with copper statues on the top of it. It's weird green things. And yes, I actually see the entire building as gray. And on that note, I'm going to say bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.